In the last 3 months, we've helped a solar company in California get themselves over 100 leads and appointments for their solar services worth over $1.1 million in opportunities. And we did that in just 3 months with under $5,000 in ad spend. And in this video, I want to show you exactly how we did it step by step so that you can get similar results for yourself or your clients. And without further ado, let's get into it. My name is Adrian. I am the founder of LeadHub, and the way we do this is we run Facebook ads in your local service area, and the people that click on the ad that I'll show you in just a bit end up on an easy quotes page. What an easy quote page is a fancy way of saying a landing page that provides visitors with an estimate for their own project. So the visitors answer a couple of questions, they fill in their contact details, they fill in important details regarding their project, and they get an estimate. Once they get an estimate right then and there without talking to anybody, the ones that agree to the price go ahead and book an appointment, which usually makes for the easiest sale you'll ever get because they already know the price. They simply want to move ahead. Now, the ones that do not book an appointment, they get handed over to AI, and the AI tries to book them in for an appointment after they might have skipped the appointment page, and that usually gains us a few appointments back. Now, I want to walk you through the system step by step, and we'll get right into it, beginning with the Facebook advertising, which is the top of funnel right here. We have a very simple campaign structure. We have one campaign with multiple ad sets, and each ad set has a specific offer. So we have one ad set that contains multiple creatives, just like the ones I've outlined here, creatives 1, 2, and 3, with a specific offer. So let's say you have one campaign with 2 ad sets, and one ad set is focused on solar installs while the other one is for solar batteries. And this is how we maximize the efficiency of our campaigns without having to spend too much. And we'll get right into the ads manager so that you can see exactly what we're doing. Here are the results, just under $5,000 spent. And as you can see here, even though not all the leads and the appointments are reported, we got a pretty good cost per lead for the area because it's an expensive area full of competition. As you can see, the cost to advertise is really high. It's $60 in the area that we're advertising, whereas over the entirety of the US, CPM is usually $20. And so this is 3 times as expensive to advertise here. Now, what this means is if, for example, you were to live in an area, or if you were to work in an area where there's less competition, there's less advertisers, you would usually see costs between 15 and maybe 30 at most, which would mean that the cost per lead would be significantly cheaper if you live in a better area. This is our one single main campaign with the single goal of getting website leads. I'll show you the landing page in a bit, but I'll walk you through the Facebook ad campaign and the ad set structure in just a bit. As you can see, we have all of these ad sets that we've ran in the past. I've hid the names, but you can see the leads, the approximate cost per lead, and how much it took us in testing to eventually get to a campaign that gets us really cheap, really good leads, like the ones that I'll show you in just a bit. So we have one campaign, and if I were to go ahead and edit it, we just launched it a couple of days ago, that gets us leads for $21 each. It's almost the same thing as the one below, but this one is a mixed campaign for solar installs that comes with a battery as well. So the conversion location is on the website, and the single goal of the pixel that we run is to maximize the number of conversions, which of course we've set as leads. Now, the daily budget is about $50, and it has no schedule, it has no start date, it has no end date, it's dynamic. You turn it on, you turn it off, and that's it. Now, if you look here, these are our targeting options. And as you can see, we target the San Jose area, and we exclude and restrict every single major city around the state so that these ads do not get served by accident to people in those areas. Facebook removed the option to target people living in specific areas, and this is what helps us get leads in our specific service area exclusively. And so this is how we minimize the amount of leads that come in from outside of the area. You exclude, number one, all of the surrounding areas surrounding your service area. And then we also exclude every single major city around the same area. Then, to prevent leads coming in from out of state, we go 3 states away when it comes to restricting. Meaning, we will restrict, if our target state's California, we will restrict 3 states away using the Facebook exclusion zones. And this allows us to get true leads. And I'll go ahead and explain what a true lead means in just a bit. Regarding age targeting and interest targeting and everything else, we want to target homeowners. If they don't own a home, the chance of them being able or willing or interested or being able to pay for it are pretty low. And so the average age of homeowners that we target is between 30 and 65 plus. I think this usually goes out to people between 30 and 50, with every now and then coming in with people older than that. We target all the genders, it doesn't really matter. And we target people speaking any type of English in the area. Then, once we go down to the manual placements, we turn off every single other placement than the Facebook feed, the Instagram feed, Facebook and Instagram stories, and Facebook and Instagram reels. Every single other area we've seen spend a lot of money to get us little to no results, because all of the other areas are not as visible, are not as valuable as the main feeds and main functions that people use on a day-to-day basis. When you go on Facebook, you rarely go on Marketplace, or you might, but most people simply go on the Facebook feed, the Instagram feed, Facebook stories, or reels. That accounts for the majority of the traffic, so you spending money on anything else other than this is practically burning it. Now, I want to show you a bit about the ads themselves. Let's go into ones that we see performed pretty well so far. I'll just show you the ones in the new ad account. So we have one for batteries and we have one for panels installs and practically complete installs. As you can see here, the cost per lead is really low, and this is what the ad actually looks like. So we simply have persuasive, logical copy that relates to all of the homeowners. So I'll walk you through what it exactly says. For example, the one we use as a primary text for this ad specifically is the one that you're seeing. Most solar companies won't tell you this, but without a battery, at least in California, your solar system payback period is roughly 12 years with the new regulations that have been passed. With a battery, your investment can pay for itself in as little as 8 years. And I'll cut right to the chase. Then we introduce ourselves and then we lay out exactly what the benefits of going ahead with a battery system and without a battery system in California. And then we establish ourselves as not being the types of contractors that add additional expenses, unexpected expenses, and we simply lay out the exact way this works. And then at the end, we simply list out the bonuses, and we have a very simple offer. Have us out to your home so we can look at your current electricity bill and usage and help you figure out what you ought to do. Even if we don't get your business, we'll at least feel really good that we've helped someone in our community by arming them with the knowledge they need to make the decision that's best for them. This is a segment I found on the Facebook ad library, and this works really, really well for the solar industry. Smart homeowners don't just go for solar. They go for solar plus battery to reduce their payback period significantly. And then we have a link towards our easy quotes page. The headlines that we use for our offers is replace your electric bill with solar, reduce your solar payback period by 30 to 50%, and increase your savings under NEM 3.0 by 30 to 50%. We turn off all of the enhancements. We have a simple call to action. And then as soon as they click on the page, they get taken to our easy quotes page, which looks something like this. We have a simple headline: replace your electricity bill with solar in 2025. You can answer a few questions below to see if you qualify and see what the average estimate for your project would be. They fill out a couple of questions, they enter in their addresses, test 1 2 3 4 5, and they answer a couple of questions. I currently own the property. I want a solar install. My electric bill is roughly this much. I am ready to hire. I would like to see options to buy outright, finance, both, or not sure if it might be insurance or something, even though insurance is probably not likely in solar. But then we ask them for a rough estimate for their credit score, because this is important to gauge their ability to purchase and move ahead. Let's say it's excellent. Then they simply enter in their contact details and they get a quote. And practically, this is all the page does to begin with. We have a set of base questions which are crucial to be answered, and you cannot work with the leads if they do not answer these questions. And those are they in your service area? Are they interested to go ahead now? Do they have the ability to pay? Are they the homeowner? What type of property do they have? And what are they looking for? If they answer any of these incorrectly, we simply reject them because they're unqualified. It doesn't matter how good of a credit score, doesn't matter how much or how quickly they want to move ahead. If they're in a different state, it doesn't matter. And this is why cheap leads are not the end all of any successful campaign. If they qualify using the base questions, we then ask a couple of additional questions. And now we like to keep as few of these as possible, but these are all questions that we include in the Easy Quotes widget. Then we have additional questions that we can ask but prefer not to. For example, sometimes it's important to gauge what their current provider for solar or for electricity is, whether they prefer it roof mounted or ground mounted, what their roof material is, do they have an EV, and so on. And using the questions that they answer, we give them an estimate based on their answers. Once they get to the estimate page, this is what the estimate page is. If they click on any of these options, they will be prompted to book an appointment, or if they click on yes, they will be prompted to book an appointment. And as you can see in the estimate, we include both the monthly rates for financing a system and the flat out cost based on their answers. And as you can see, it's not an exact quote, it's simply a range between the lowest it can be and the highest it can be for their exact system. And we can obviously modify how large the range is. And if they agree with the price, great, which 20 to 30% of the people actually do. They get to a calendar with solar eligibility and consultation calendar where they can simply book an appointment, and from then on the sale is pretty straightforward. You do the same thing that you would have done otherwise. If they skip this step, we send them over to the appointment booking bot, which recaptures 10 to 20% of the leads that come in. And this is exactly how it works. And this is what gets us the results that you can see on the screen. There's a lot of people in our specific service area that we qualify based on postal code. We ask them what their electricity bill is. We ask them the current status, of course, and their credit score. And as you can see, a lot of the leads that I'm showing you have pretty high electricity bills. We know exactly when they want to move ahead. We know exactly what their credit score range is and their ability to pay and what they're looking for. Some people want batteries, some people want solar installs, and all of this information is relayed back to our client as soon as a lead comes in. So they'll know, they get a text message, they get an email that tells them, hey, look, there's Mr. John Smith that has an estimate for their system that costs this much. They're looking for batteries, they're looking for solar installs, they're looking for maintenance, or they're looking for all of it. And so all of this stuff, because it's essential that you reach out to your leads in time, within the minute, ideally. Obviously, that's not possible unless you have a dedicated person doing it, which we do offer. Then it makes the entire process way easier to know this ahead of time, before you talk with someone, before you show up at their house. And this is what is getting us all of these high quality, true leads in our service area that have the ability to pay, and we know how fast they want to move forward. And this is practically our entire setup for getting new customers. But this is just a small part of the entire process of growing your company, which works something like this. There's a step one where you have to spend time, effort, money, or likely all of them to start to get some clients, leads, opportunities, appointments, and ultimately sales. What I've outlined in red are the only things we help our client with. Step number 2 is that you obviously make the sale, and then you deliver the product or the service or the results that you promise. Then you want to use the results and the product and the installs and the customers that you already have to get you referrals, reviews, reactivations, or simply show proof that you know what you're doing. You've gotten people installed. You've installed solar that looks amazing, that works really well for happy homeowners that you can then use again in your marketing to get yourself more clients and sales. Now, the entire process that I've showed you is simply step 1. Yes, we do handle step 3 and 4, but this is what our system is. If you found it helpful, you can leave a like or a comment. My name is Adrian. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.